Hey, what's up everyone? This is Crumble from Emotionless Crypto Trading, and today we're going to do something different on a different coin, which is Litecoin compared to Tether USD Poloniex Exchanger 2 hours candlesticks as usually, and the website I'm running this is tradingview.com. As you may know, that's the place where you can run your own market analysis exactly like I do and make the best decisions, right? So let's get started on this one. Currently the market is traded on a all-time high structure, which is this one right over here. 2 days ago we were approaching the all-time high position around $64 for Litecoin compared to Tether USD, basically specifically for this pair comparison, right? And the situation is not bad at all for the future of Litecoin as the entire crypto space looks like, so you don't have to be worried about it for sure. Now, currently, like I said, we're trading on a structure which is called all-time high, basically. That's different than any other structure like uptrend, downtrend, sideways, or anything that has a history. A all-time high structure is not having history because it's all-time high, basically. It's approaching some price points with no history for that specific coin. So definitely within this type of trading, we have to apply some specific rules which are making basically a huge difference than applying when we have history for our structure. Now what that means is this one right over here is the structure of the all-time high, basically, that we have to consider. Currently the market is just a little bit below the all-time high price. It's like 62.6 and the all-time high was around 64. So there's not a big difference between the current situation and the all-time high that was 2 days ago. The structure is, the pricing is still within that structure, and like I said, we have to apply certain rules in order to find an entry or the way we manage our trade from now if we have an opening spot, right? So what happens is, I'll explain you what happened earlier than this and what's the current situation of the market. Simply trending support line confirming and sustaining. This one right here, it started from there and it continued basically for quite a long period of time as a trending support line, which is not something that happens usually in the market without breakouts pretty consistently, looking at the high volatility of the crypto space. So that's a good sign that Litecoin had a steady increase baseline of the support, which helped basically to put some pressure and some more and more pressure which was accumulating and eventually breaking out, which actually happened. So I'll explain you that very soon. Now this one started basically the end of June through July and August, and it still continues as it looks like. We don't know till when, but for sure it still continues because we were able to move quite far away from the trending support line. We're currently the trending support line is around like $43 and the market is trading on $62, which is great, right? So we had a huge parabolic movement which also represented a breakout, and I'll explain you soon. Now what we had before this and what we had on top of this is the resistance zone pressuring the trading structure right over this one. This is the one I'm talking about. You see this zone basically, which represents a price range, a small price range. That's why we call it a zone. Now it's a resistance zone because it was pressuring the market. It was creating a resistance point right over here as well. After a high parabolic movement, a lot of enthusiasm over Litecoin, but still resistance was present and pushing the market down, rejecting the price right over here with not too much pressure on the support anymore. That's why there is no long shadow over here. There's just a little one over there, if you can see that, but it's very, very little. Nothing compared to this one. Look at the shadow you have over here. This is a huge rejection, basically. We were trying to break out of this resistance zone, pressuring with the support. Unfortunately, at that time, we're not able to do that. Look at this long shadow, which represented lots of selling pressure when we were approaching above the resistance zone. So like I said, guys, always for the breakout, you have to wait for confirmation and look exactly if there is selling pressure and how powerful is that one. For sure there is selling pressure, but you have to measure how powerful is the selling pressure. For example, within this video presentation, you have the perfect example of how a breakout seems to be confirming or seems to be happening, but it's not confirmed. Like, seems to be confirming, but it's not, if you are waiting for the final conclusion. And that's what you always have to do whenever you are making a decision. You have to be sure about that, and the market needs to confirm 100% as a conclusion on the happenings. So as of right now, you can very clearly see that the volatility on this shadow was huge. And some of the traders, I'm sure about like 80% of the traders, which are trading on the breakouts, or they were looking at this price point as a resistance considering this market analysis, and there was a breakout over here. The market was approaching higher over the resistance, and they were probably buying into Litecoin because there is a breakout and they thought from there the price is going to skyrocket. Now, if you're waiting for the confirmation, you can clearly see that the market is going to follow a little retracement after that, and it's not going to break out. It wasn't any confirmed breakout. It was actually a failed one. That's why you have to wait and see and look for the confirmation. I'll keep saying that in all my video presentations because it's very risky to participate in a movement without being sure that the data is confirmed. It's very, very risky to do that. You might catch maybe 2 or 3% more if you participate earlier, but that small percentage you're catching, if you, is not gonna worth it as the risk represented, because as long as it's not confirmed, it can very easily turn around and move in the other direction, exactly like it happened right now. So people are expecting it's gonna skyrocket, but then it basically came down exactly in the opposite way. After a huge buying pressure, everything transformed into the selling pressure, which is something you guys have to consider, as probably this market analysis is teaching you some more things which will help you in the future to see that there are failed movements which needs to be considered and traded in the right way, because otherwise you can lose money. Now, within this case, there's no big deal because the market recovered pretty quickly after that retracement. There wasn't too much, and we're able to take it from there and have the resistance on breakout signal. Good signal for entry right over here. This is the resistance on breakout. Very, very good signal for entry. You see how that, you see basically from here the green candlesticks are moving high. Then we have the red candlesticks basically. I'll try to zoom in a little bit and show you. We have this 2 red candlesticks over here, which are representing the selling pressure of that resistance zone, exactly like we had over here for the shadow. Just the volatility was smaller and the volume. Now that means a new green candlestick which is approaching. Basically, you see how the red ones are finishing pretty quickly. There's not too much selling pressure, and then the market takes control with the green candlesticks, which is the buying pressure, pushing it hard. Therefore the market confirms basically it's not going to be anything down the way anymore as of right now at that time. So the market were able to confirm on a breakout, and that's exactly what you guys are looking for in order to be able to have the right decisions and the good entry points for Litecoin, for example. So from there till the all-time high, it represented a profit of around 14%. This is for people which are trading on the breakouts. A very, very good structure and easy trade, in my opinion, for you guys when you have approached this market analysis. And then basically, as of right now, let's talk about what's the current situation and what you can do with your Litecoin as what the market analysis tells you to do. It's not my prediction, like I usually said, and like you already know, guys, this video presentations are not my predictions, it's just market analysis. So currently we're going to trade around this all-time high structure, which represents something like this, right? Currently, we're going to trade around that price points within that circle. Now, if you see some bounce back, some retracements, you don't have to worry about Litecoin's price or support or structure or future. There's nothing to worry about it. It's normal for a coin, guys, to skyrocket like this. If it does, I mean, it's not normal for every single coin to skyrocket, but for this one, as the situation looks like, so it skyrocketed up, it had a parabolic movement, and then it's normal to see some bounce back, some retracements, something like this. It moves up, it's normal to come back a little bit. It's normal. What matters is the steady growth after that. This is what matters. So what we need from now, after this bounce back retracement, after the parabolic movement within the all-time high structure, is we need a growth like this. Oops. Yeah, we need a growth basically like this. We need a structure like that. This is steady growth with some selling pressure as well, but always the buying pressure dominates it, which is great. So we need something like that as of right now. I don't want to see another parabolic movement because that's risky and creates consequences with another parabolic movement down the way. So that's currently the situation. Probably we're going to trade somewhere around that circle as the market looks like. And then from there, something that you want to consider is if Litecoin comes down the way and finds some more selling pressure, as an entry point for you guys would be right over here around the previous resistance zone basically. Previous resistance zone is going to transform into the next support. And if for some reasons the market is going to find its prices, if it confirms as a support, you want to buy into basically and ride it up. Now, this is going to happen only if the market is going to find bearish positions. As of right now, it do not represent any bearish movements. We're talking about the entire crypto space, which is bullish. And majority of the cryptocurrencies are increasing. There's a large amounts of money coming into the crypto space. The market cap, guys, is all-time high, $165 billion. Again, all-time high for the market cap as well. Many of the coins are traded on the all-time high, and we're waiting to see more and more basically within that position. Now, this is the market analysis for Litecoin. Another entry point if the price is not approaching this low levels of very near to the support line, which could be from previous resistance. It's not a line, sorry, it's a zone, yes. So what happens here is we've got this 55, sorry, till 57 basically, which could be a price point, like I said, if it comes in as an entry one. If not, if the market is not approaching those price points, and we have a steady bounce backs over here, right, something around that, exactly basically like we have it over here, then what you could consider is a new entry point basically, but you have to be very, very cautious with the selling pressure. Maybe the market is going to find a crash if the parabolic movements are too extreme, because that's what happens when there's too much buying pressure. There's a crash within the market, usually, not always. So that's also an entry point which could appear around here. If the market basically represents good support pressure along the way with some steady increase and not too much selling pressure, then again you can be part of Litecoin at that time. But for now, still give it some time, see how the market is going to react over the next days. Give it some time and then make a decision if you want to be participating with Litecoin. Probably that's pretty much all around this video presentation. A quick one around Litecoin. Hopefully this one helps you guys to make your best decisions. Hopefully you have learned something that you can use within your market analysis. And feel free to subscribe, like, comment within this video presentation on my channel. I've got plenty of market analysis video presentations from where you can help yourself and learn how to do this. Actually, I'm not teaching here how to do this. That's something I'm teaching on my one-on-one coaching program. If you would like to become my student, feel free to check the first link in the description area. Basically, that's where you can become my student and become a professional trader, right? So that's pretty much all about it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll still come out with some other video presentations around Ethereum, Bitcoin, and so forth. I'll try to do all these things for my holiday, and I'm enjoying, guys, to work with you here. It's my pleasure to be here, and I'm sure we're gonna have some great time around the crypto space. If there's some decrease coming, if there's some bearish market over the next week, don't worry about it. You shouldn't be worried about these things. 2017 is an amazing year to come into the space, invest, trade, learn, because 2018, everything is gonna skyrocket. So you have to be prepared for the best movements of the market. 2018, you should not be afraid anything happens. 2017, it's an amazing year for us, guys. So thank you so much for coming in. See you next time.